Response video to Nick, the modern mystic, sort of. He's basically did a very nice series of videos on this whole I thing, human psychology, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, so he ended it with his last video with the phrase, look, maybe I'm a selfish sod, but I don't care. This is all academic discussion. Doesn't really matter. Almost implying that it's not even applicable. Like if you had to put a dime in the machine to make something happen, he wouldn't. No, I'm not gonna, waste one of my dimes on it. Which was kind of predictable, but still disappointing. Anyway, I just try to make him care. I guess that's the new project. There's probably lots of ways to approach it. I guess the first thing I'll do is explain why I care. And I've sort of explained this before, but it doesn't hurt to always try it from a new angle, or even the same angle. Sometimes you can hit the nail more than one time to get it to go into the wood, persuade it, to give it encouragement. So I will try to encourage. So anyway, so sometime when I was a kid, I don't know how old I was, but it was a Christmas thing. I had started making some money, doing odd jobs, and shoveling driveways, cutting grass, that kind of crap. And I decided on Christmas that I would buy presents for people with my own money, and I really liked doing that. And I realized in that process that, these other people are just like me. They're different, but they're the same basic machine. And they're going through the same basic psychological experience. They're feeling creatures. They have a welfare that matters. They can be at risk. They can be harmed. They can be scared. They can, all that shit. And it's like, I knew that before, but I didn't really know it, if you know what I mean. There's things that you know, and then there's a time when it just like, you really know it. And so that was sort of I can't say my life changed that moment, but I just mean as a piece of thought information, that one sort of made the selfishness thing pretty humiliating. So from then on, whenever I was self-obsessed, I felt pretty embarrassed about being such a weasel, because I kind of understood that there's all this stuff that can be done, that there are all these starving Chinese people, and that when you waste something, well, guess what? They could have used it, asshole. And that became more of a real part of how I lived. And so anyway, so the basic point is, as I've iterated before, you're sort of in this game with more than one game piece. This game piece that you're playing, really well. You're intimately involved with it. You're experiencing it from the inside out, so to speak. But these other game pieces are part of the game. They're players. And maybe you can't get inside of them. Maybe they're not you. But in substance, it's all the same thing. So if you help one game piece, or you help another game piece, or you help your own game piece, it really doesn't matter. The point is that game pieces are doing good things, or game pieces are having bad things happen to them. And that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter which individuals are picking the fruit. It just matters that the fruit gets picked and gets enjoyed and all that crap. And that's just basically the equation. So anyway, it further got illustrated to me, when you'd watch these nature shows and you'd see animals, and it's like you'd start to root for particular animals, and you might, it just becomes sort of obvious that if you were making decisions for these animals as a group or society, you'd be making the decisions so much more rationally than when you're an intimate player. And so even though those game pieces are also part of the game, and their welfare is just as important as yours and all this other stuff, theoretically, I'm just saying it becomes easier to see the way we detach and how we function psychologically, how this whole selfish thing, this I thing, this ego thing really gets to own us. And that when you really separate from it, as best you can in theory, theoretically in your brain, because emotionally it's almost impossible, you realize that this is important shit. The future is important. The future could be more people than the past. Maybe. Who knows how it's going to end up. But that's theoretically possible. And so there's more welfare at stake going that way than there was back that way. And, we have some power over that forward thing. We can't fix the back. We can only fix the forward. And how you can't get a little bit interested in doing that is kind of surprising, because I think if I proposed taking you and extracting bits of you from your brain, some of the little precious bits, the bits that you're kind of satisfied with, and was to deny you those bits, and then add a few, pollution bits, like, maybe make you a joke teller guy, one of those guys who gets right up in somebody's face and blah, 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 does that kind of shit, and, give you a few buffoon mannerisms, maybe make you a little drooling, hysterical arguer like certain people, you'd be like humiliated. And you wouldn't want me to do that to you. You'd say, hey, don't fuck with me. Okay? This is the good stuff. You wouldn't just say, yeah, sure, whatever life I live, fine, who cares, blah, blah, blah. And it's basically the same argument I'm making here. Is the people going to live in the future? Okay, maybe they're not you specifically. All right? They're not going to be called Nick, and they're not going to live in your house and all that crap. But they're going to be, in substance, so much the same in terms of the merit of their need, the reality of it, the depth of it, or their perspective, or their welfare, whatever. All that stuff's still going to count. And so I just don't see how you cannot give a fuck about that. So this meme thing, in terms of changing the psychology of the human race, is the only way to rationally play this game, because it's how the game affects all the players that matters. It's the rules of the game that is the only game in town. Playing the game is bullshit. Fixing the game is the game. Okay? That's where you can win, and that's where you can certainly lose if you sit on your ass and do nothing and not care. Because if you do that, the pieces tomorrow will be trapped playing a bad game. And they're only going to be stuck that way because not enough people could muster up this little bit of care thing and say, no, let's fight for it. Let's talk about it some more. Let's bash it into people's heads as hard as we can. Let's be a little passionate about how we live. Because this matters. The future matters. And what the character of what consciousness is going to be trapped in matters. I don't want consciousness trapped in assholes. That pisses me off. It scares me. It's more accurate. It scares the fucking shit out of me to imagine consciousness being sentenced to that plight. It's like a prison sentence. It's a bad thing. And if it's going to happen to consciousness, it might as well be happening to me. So that's basically the argument. And it seems too simple an argument, but apparently it's not. It's simple, but it requires a leap where you can step past that personal ego thing completely. I don't even know if it's completely, but it's just theoretically complete in the sense that you just understand conceptually that you're not the player. You're a player. And that's how the game is played. So the rest of the players matter just as much as you, even though you might think otherwise. So anyway, that's enough of a video. It's becoming a trademark line, I think, but maybe I'll come up with something else. I just say strudel at the end. Strudel, strudel, strudel. No, well, whatever. That doesn't really work either. So till the next time. Maybe, I don't know if there's going to be edited stuff here. I don't know if there'll be extra images. I don't know what there's going to be. I have no idea. Maybe it's potluck, whatever you got. I'm just babbling now. Incessant. So, till next time. Really. See, I have found the button now. Stupid.